crews are battling the snow and ice, Tennessee stays off the roads.
Take your time, keep warm.
Many taking advantage of the first snow day of the year.
Team coverage as Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
Well, winter is here, blanketing Music City's iconic Broadway and all the honky-tonks with snow. We start tonight in an obvious Code Red weather alert.
Now, this is a time-lapse video of the winter blast arriving downtown in Nashville. The mid-state seeing more snow than we have in a long time. Fox 17 News was live several places earlier today, and we are live tonight with team coverage. Code Red meteorologist Brett Luna live in Crossville. Fox 17 News Karen Aguilar's live in the borough.
But right now, tracking it all is Code Red Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan in the Code Red Weather Center. So as it stands right now, we're tapering off, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, the winter storm warning has been allowed to expire for a lot of Middle Tennessee, so that's good. But it does continue for those in Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin counties until midnight. And toward the plateau, they're going to extend it till 3 a.m. And that is mainly because of one last burst of snow that is pushing through. Here are preliminary totals. We will likely see a few of these go up a little more because these were taken at 7 o'clock and it was still snowing at that time. 5 inches in Bon Aqua, 4 in Lebanon, Fairview at 4, Brentwood around 3.5, 3 in Murfreesboro, St. Joseph at 5. 4.2 in Loretto and Lawrenceburg, right around 4 inches of snow. Lots of pictures flooding our Chime In page, and I really hope that you will share your photos with us. I'm loving all the snowman pictures, so I'll share a couple of those throughout the night here. This is snowman in Brentwood from Nicholas and Carson. A lot of big snowmans that I saw from pictures this evening as well. As far as the last little burst of snow, there it is on radar. So we could pick up very minor additional accumulation, maybe a ½ inch out of this little burst that's pushing through here. It's small but mighty, and that should be about all that we see as we head through the evening hours. We'll zoom out and you can see the whole picture. Lots of snow to our north, even to our east towards North Carolina and into portions of Virginia. Low temperatures are in the mid-20s for the overnight. It is going to get slick as we head through the overnight. Right now, Broadway looking wet, and as long as these roads again are mainly traveled on, like downtown Broadway, likely will be okay, but secondary roads, bridges and overpasses especially, they are going to be problematic as we go through the overnight with those temperatures in the mid-20s. In fact, law enforcement says road conditions on the plateau are getting worse after nightfall, and that of course is due to the fact that we are looking at temperatures dropping rapidly through the evening hours. That is where we find our meteorologist Brett Luna. He is live in Crossville this evening. Brett, we sent you to Buc-ee's, and I can see that you're there standing right next to the gas pumps, which I will say is something you don't see very often, empty gas pumps at Buc-ee's.
Hey, Katie, yeah, you are absolutely right. We're out here at Buc-ee's right now, and you know it is 9 o'clock or whatever the current time is right now, shortly after 9. But even earlier today, before it was dark, there just was not a whole lot of traffic out here at this Buc-ee's, and that's really because I think a lot of people are just playing it safe and not getting out on the roads if they didn't absolutely have to be out on the roads. But like you were just saying, Katie, too, I've heard some officials over in Putnam County saying as well that once nightfall hit, those road conditions really started to deteriorate. We've seen the snowplows out here, you know, doing as good of a job as they can, and they've been doing a great job. But we've been at Buc-ee's a lot of the day, and we talked with drivers from Georgia, coming in from Colorado, coming in from North Carolina, passing through, and they pretty much all just had the same message for everybody.
Stay home if you can. But if you can't, you know, just be careful, go slow. I will say we saw several people in the medians. There's a semi truck just back here that was jackknifed. You know, we've had a little slide, and luckily hadn't been too much, but I've been driving 40 to 50 miles an hour, not fast at all, like half the speed limit. And so, yeah, just slow and steady.
And, you know, even earlier today, before everything kind of really picked up, I was seeing people kind of fishtailing a little bit. So the main takeaway is if you don't have to get out on the roads for these really next few nights, just don't get out on the roads, because everything that's still on the ground right now, that's going to melt once we hit the daytime hours of the coming days. And then with these temperatures dropping down so low, that's going to refreeze, especially on the secondary roads, and that could lead to some black ice situations for you. We'll have more information coming up for you here in just a little bit, too, and show you some of the other drivers that we talked to coming in. Those details coming up for you here, though. Right now, Brett Luna, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, TDOT says crews worked 71 crashes statewide so far during today's winter weather.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar came across one of those crashes today down in Murfreesboro as drivers are having some issues with a few of the slick spots. Karen?
That's right, Scott. And that crash was not too far from here. At this point, we don't know if the people inside were hurt, but Rutherford County EMA officials tell me that at least 19 people were hurt in today's crashes because of the bad weather. Things to look out for are black ice, which is particularly hard to see at this time of night. Now, I'm going to step out into this road to see what the conditions look like. And it's slush. There's no ice. But what we have to worry about is that there could be a refreeze, which, as Katie mentioned, is most likely. And if you take a look to my right, you can see that this secondary road is filled with snow. It's still left untreated. Officials are advising people to drive slow on both this road and especially on the interstate where we just saw an accident. Take a look at the crash we just saw on your screen. Before we got to medical center, we saw a white truck getting towed and another car badly hit, with fire crews clearing the scene. Rutherford County EMA officials tell me that's just one of at least 24 accidents that have happened today. That number could rise overnight. Daniel Marecki is a snowplow driver and reacts to the crashes.
It's crazy, you know. I don't know what people are thinking. You know, they try to go fast. I've had people pass me. You know, I had a car almost slide into me today. They just don't pay attention. They think the roads are fine because they see asphalt, and it's not asphalt, it's ice.
Me and my photographer Patrick went down a curvy road on the interstate, and we had to be careful to avoid getting into an accident. Rutherford County EMA officials advise, again, to drive slow if you have to drive. Now, we have seen a lot of people out on the roads, but the best advice out of all of this is to stay home if you can. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Yeah, I think some of us here in studio wish we could have stayed home today. Well, check out the Chime In section of Fox17.com. It is seeing a ton of activity, a lot of viewer videos and pictures being uploaded, showing us everything around town. It'll even make you do a double take. Kelly Avellino, she said it was a full-on snow rave today out at the Capitol. One of our viewers, Courtney Wagner, sharing this video with us. That is a SpongeBob SquarePants sighting, Patrick Starr out shredding the snow. And out in Bell Buckle, Tennessee, that's out in Bedford County, Jessica Goodwin sending us this picture. Logan made a snowman as big as he is, completing Frosty's look with a beanie to keep him from melting. Nicole Gruber capturing the moment here. Puppy's first snow, and by the looks of it, endless excitement and zoomies with no sign of slowing down. And look at this, a postcard perfect shot of winter right here in Music City. Snow falling on the bright neon lights of Broadway. The only thing missing from this iconic shot is the typical weekender crowds that spill into the streets. But the bars are open and the music is still playing. Keep those pictures and video coming. You can scan the QR code there on your screen to share your snow pictures directly with us on Chime In.
Now, if you're wondering what is open in this winter blast, you can find a link with the latest updates at our website, fox17.com. Right now, a live look at one of the roads around town, Briley Parkway at Dickerson Road, just north of downtown from the TDOT SmartWay cameras. We're keeping an eye out for potentially icy spots with refreezing expected on the roads.
And some picturesque scenes in Centennial Park. Tennesseans getting a chance to play in the first snowball of 2025. Our live team coverage of this winter blast continues right here on Fox 17 News at 9.
Continuing our coverage of the winter blast now as we take a live look downtown, and Broadway is hopping.
Despite the cold and the snow, there are still some diehards out there tonight. Broadway's iconic honky tonk staying open throughout this snowstorm.
Now, TDOT and NDOT crews started working on the roads on Wednesday, treating the roads, trying to get ahead of this storm. And if you were out today, you know all that hard work paid off.
Well, mid-state drivers also cooperating as we saw a reduced flow of traffic out on our roadways. With several days leading up to these warnings, some even brought in private snowplows. 29 trucks from one company came down from Wisconsin to pitch in.
We're not getting snow in Wisconsin right now, you know, so we go where the money goes, chase storms, help people out. We found out that Tennessee was going to be in need. They're not used to this stuff. We don't want businesses closing and stuff like that, so we flew down here.
Well, the message across the board from those road crews tonight is still the same. Stay home if you can, slow down if you have to be out in it.
And despite the snowfall, a lot of Middle Tennesseans were able to get out, as you saw all those folks down on Broadway tonight. And our Fox 17 question of the day is asking whether you think the roads are better in the area, better prepared, that is, than in years past. We've got 336 people weighing in, and more than 69% say yes, the roads were in better shape. I think they did a better job preparing them. Polls live now. If you'd like to cast your vote, scan the QR code on the right-hand side of your screen. It will link you to our X page, our handle @Fox Nashville, and we will look at the numbers again coming up later in the newscast.
Take a look at this time-lapse video of the snowfall out in Mount Juliet. Fox 17 News photojournalist Kyle Benton taking this footage earlier today as the winter blast moved through Wilson County. You can see the totals start to gather here, melt, and then more snow falling. You can see this video and more like it on our Fox Nashville YouTube channel. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to see stories like this first from Fox 17 News.
And be sure to tune in on Saturday morning for a special edition of Fox 17 News this morning starting at 6 a.m. Again, that's tomorrow, for an extended look at this significant snowfall event. What's happening tomorrow, again, that starts at 6 a.m. tomorrow right here on Fox 17.
All right, Katie, you said the snow's tapering off. Maybe we'll get out of this mess sooner than anticipated, or right on track? What are you thinking?
Yeah, that's about right on track. We were expecting the bulk of this storm to be done with by the evening hours, and then maybe a few flurries as we head through the overnight. And that's kind of what we're looking at here. For the plateau, the winter storm warning will continue until 3 a.m. and that's mainly for the little bit of snow that's moving through now. Cold Saturday on tap. We're looking at some good melting by Sunday and tracking more cold, believe it or not, as we head towards next week. We have a new record for today, a new daily snowfall record. 3.9 inches was the official total at B&A. That is the new record. Old one was 3 inches, set back in 1895, a long-standing record, I might add. And yes, it was on the lower range of what we were expecting. With most likely totals around 5 to 7, did not happen, but did mention yesterday that we would have at least 3 to 5 inches, and that's the range that we ended up with, where I've seen most of our reports in that 3 to 5 inch category. We'll get the official snow report most likely tomorrow with area totals here. But what happened? Why didn't we get more snowfall? What we expected to see. There was a lot at play, but a couple of big things that took our snow totals down was the warmer air aloft. As I mentioned yesterday, that would be something that would cut into those totals, and did, especially in our southern counties. Along with it, our temperatures were just a little too warm for good accumulating snow. This is a time lapse again from our own Fox 17 photographer Kyle Benton. And again, we had quite a bit of accumulating snow and snow falling all day, really. But watch as it melted once that snow let up, and the heavy snow just could not keep up with it, up with the melting. I'll get it out. But again, with temperatures just at or above 32 degrees, we saw a lot more melting at play, and that snowfall not able to keep up with the melting. So that's what ended up leaving us with a good 2 inches, in a lot of cases less than what we expected or what we thought we would most likely get. Here's a live look from our Robertson County sky camera here, and Springfield's looking still wet on those roads. These areas here on the side, this is going to be what we want to really pay attention to. In addition to that, I've noticed that we are starting to pick up some fog out towards the plateau, and could become a little more widespread throughout the evening. If this were to occur and the fog is thick enough, it could lead to freezing drizzle, which would add to our black ice problem for tomorrow morning. So again, stressing the importance of making sure you're taking it easy on those roads if you have to be out and about. So tomorrow morning, we're code red just for those slick roadways that we'll have around the impacts left over from all the snow that we had today. Sun on Sunday will allow for some good melting, but then we'll refreeze overnight with temperatures well below freezing. Each day, though, we will gradually improve. Those secondary roads, bridges, overpasses, you know the drill, will be the main problems for us. So tomorrow we look at a mostly cloudy to overcast sky. Temperatures will be around 32 at 10. I think we top off just above the freezing mark, kind of like where we were today. We may see a peak of sunshine, so we're not expecting a ton of melting. But again, we'll see it all refreeze as we head through the overnight. So we walk you through future track for the remainder of this evening. As I mentioned, a few light snow showers will be left over. These shouldn't accumulate too much. Here's 5 a.m. Temperatures in the mid-20s or so for the overnight. And we top off for the afternoon again in those low 30s for the day. Keeping skies mostly cloudy. And that continues until we get into early Sunday morning when we start to see those clouds clear out. Going into Sunday afternoon, the sunshine will be our friend, and we will start to see more of that melting occur. The cold weather, though, does not want to let go of its grip. We've got a second front that'll be pushing through. It could bring us some colder air for early next week after seeing some upper 30s to low 40s. We'll talk more about that coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
This Fox 17 News Code Red Alert is sponsored by Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac.
Right now, another live look, this one in Sumner County tonight, the view from our camera there. It's at 65. Now, this is actually in Gallatin proper, I should say, right on Highway 31 from the Ford dealership looking over to the Lowe's.
And tracking all the fun, we're taking another look at your snow day pictures across the volunteer state.
And here is another live look at the roads tonight from our TDOT SmartWay cameras. This one, Vietnam Veterans Boulevard and Conference Drive. That's the back of Sarah Chevrolet as you see a car coming northbound on the bypass.
Well, continuing our coverage of the winter blast, your pictures and video are telling the story. A lot of people had an action-packed snow day today. Let's start out in Cheatham County. Oh, these are my besties, Ed and Aubrey Bolton. They sent this video in. That is Ed skiing the slopes of Ridge Creek Farms. That's actually his driveway, but it could totally pass for a blue or green run. And just like a real ski resort, when you get to the bottom of the hill, there is a ski lift ready to take you back up the mountain. So here in the South, that's a Can-Am and a tow rope. I'm gonna head out there tomorrow to get some runs in myself. Looks like a lot of fun, no broken bones. Next up, Amber Knoll. Also, she's next level, putting her own spin on a classic snow day favorite. The snowman has a head of lettuce and out with man's best friend. These two, snowman and pup, were spotted out on the town today looking for a little shade and of course adhering to the leash law. And dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, or in this case, a plastic sled. Here in the Mid-State, we always find a way to put our southern stamp on all the classics. This beautiful Clydesdale pony is pulling two very happy campers across a field of blanket snow. Y'all, keep sharing your pictures and video with us. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen or send them directly to our newsroom on Chime In.
Continuing our coverage now with a look at the hard-working crews out in this winter weather. This is a sped-up video. TDOT crews tag teaming State Route 150 through in Chattanooga down in Hamilton County, working, trying to keep the roads clear for the folks who need to get out. I love that tag team getting it done. Now, TDOT is urging drivers to give snowplows like that some room. They want drivers to stay about 200 feet back. I mean, that's a long way. So again, 200 is what they are suggesting. Give them a lot of room because sometimes they have to swerve, make sudden stops, and they say they don't want you to try to pass the snowplow. Absolutely a lousy idea. First of all, they can be moving a bit, and they can also be throwing out that rock salt. The plows need to take over more than one lane, and it's just not safe to try to get past them. You heard one in the borough complaining about that today. They also say you don't want to drive through that cloud of snow salt because it obviously is being kicked up by the plows as they move along as well.
Well, travel troubles. We're seeing a lot of canceled and delayed flights out of Nashville International Airport. The frustration for travelers trying to make it out of town.
And not even Mother Nature can keep the music from playing downtown. This is a live look on Broadway where the party never stops. Our team coverage of this winter blast on Fox 17 News at 9 will continue in minutes.
Well, our team coverage of the winter blast continues with a look at Nashville International Airport. Those plows working around the clock. All of this, of course, to keep the airport clear for travelers trying to get in and out of Music City.
Now, despite all that work, there were a lot of canceled flights at B&A, which left the terminals eerily almost empty, sort of like a ghost town, if you can imagine that. Take a look. The National Airport usually hopping 7 days a week. You see the conditions out there. The airport's responsible for clearing the runways. Individual airlines responsible for de-icing their planes. The big board at the airport showed a lot of cancellations. We talked to folks who were out there for flights that were running and others who were at the airport all day because of delays.
Even the parking lot. So many spaces available. I was surprised. But yeah, it's pretty empty. I expected to see people sitting on the floor because their flights had been canceled. And so I am somewhat surprised to see it kind of empty.
I come here all the time and it's weird seeing it this empty. But I was just looking, I'm like, I can't believe both of our flights actually are making it, looking at all the canceled flights that have come in.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky. Now, on a normal day, the National Airport sees just over 260 departing flights, a lot fewer than that, obviously, today. Now, here's a live look at Interstate 40 out by the airport right now. If you do have to get out, obviously, not a ton of traffic on the roads, but you'll need to take it slow on the entrance ramps coming and going. Be sure to check your flight status before you leave. Still a lot of things canceled or delayed.
Well, continuing coverage with some fun in the snow up at the state capitol. The legendary hill behind the capitol, always a popular spot for folks to go sledding whenever Music City does see some snow. Fox 17 News cameras were out there to capture hundreds of people zipping down that snowy hill today. Some even bringing music to have a little dance party on the hillside. I'll have what he's having. We caught up with some of the kids out sledding, thanks to a mentor from the Boys and Girls Club of Middle Tennessee.
I actually have a fear of heights, and so that's pretty hard. But it's still fun because it's super fast, and I like fast things like a roller coaster.
People came out to sled the Capitol Hill with everything from giant inflatables to even full-size surfboards. Tennesseans are used to making do with makeshift sleds than the real ones because apparently they're hard to come by around here.
Our Code Red weather team live tonight.
That's right. We have team coverage. I was just going to mouth for you. Let my mouth do the talking. Deputies out in Putnam County say roads started getting slick after the sun went down. Code Red meteorologist Brett Luna, one county away, in Cumberland County with the latest on the conditions. How you hanging out there, Brett?
Hey, Megan, it is cold, and I'm not really good at handling the cold too well, so I'm freezing out here, but it's cold. We've had some snowfall. We woke up to the snow happening earlier today. It kind of was running into a little bit of a dry layer, so it took a little bit longer, at least out here on the plateau, to actually start making its way down to the ground. And then we had snow for a few hours, maybe about 2.5 inches or so right here, and then it transitioned over to a little bit of sleet, and then it went back to a little bit of some very light snowfall. So that's what we've been having. We were out here at Buc-ee's earlier today, and we're still at Buc-ee's right now too, but there were some people here a little bit earlier kind of filling up their trucks and everything. We talked to one driver. He's from Colorado, and he's been driving through this winter storm all the way from Colorado all the way into Tennessee, and he's making his final destination. That's over in Knoxville, so he has just a little bit longer ways to go. But he's used to driving in conditions like this. He also has a new Bronco, so he's well equipped for it. Between his experience and his vehicle, he can navigate this pretty well. But here's what he had to say to everybody out on the roads.
With the all-wheel drive versus just a four-wheel drive, I think it definitely makes it doable, but you still got to be careful and not be slamming on the brakes. And straight line driving is obviously the best, so that will keep you going straight on the road. Don't be slamming on your brakes or tailgating people, and you'll be fine.
And we are out here at Buc-ee's again. And, you know, normally when I come back into this Buc-ee's, or every time I've been to this Buc-ee's, it has been very, very crowded. So this is what we're seeing right now. Really not a lot of people at these gas pumps. And it's kind of been like this earlier today. And the only reason is because people have just been taking it easy. And they haven't really been getting out there on the roads if they really haven't had to. So that's some good news. People just taking it easy. We're going to have some more sound bites for you. We talked with people from Colorado, Georgia, North Carolina, all over the country that have been making their way through parts of Tennessee. So we'll show you some of those sound bites coming up here in our 10 o'clock show too. For now, they're reporting in Clarksville. Brett Luna, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Just ahead, lending a hand, how the Red Cross is helping with relief efforts and how you can give those guys a hand.
And Tennessee put in a state of emergency ahead of the winter weather. The difference this made. Continuing coverage tonight with this look at the roads earlier today in East Nashville. And despite the snowfall, travel around Nashville remained possible as crews prepared city roads for days with brine to be ready when the snow hit.
As we continue our team coverage of this winter blast, we pivot to what the Red Cross is doing to support relief efforts across the state. Normally, the Red Cross is there early and often among the very first to open shelters all over and warming centers, but it's not exactly working like that this time. Joining us now with what the agency's mission is in this snowstorm, Paige Katrinchak, who's the Regional Communications Manager for the Red Cross in Tennessee. Paige, if you will, explain what your team is doing to help people impacted by this storm.
Yeah, Scott. So the American Red Cross is partnering with our emergency management partners, and we are assessing the situation. So as soon as they need us, we have a team of volunteers that are ready to mobilize. We are also encouraging everyone to stay safe, stay indoors, and stay warm. And you can download our Red Cross emergency app so you can get alerts, stay prepared, and know what's going on with the weather.
Sure. Now, so far, so good in terms of how this has impacted people. How long do you anticipate some of these shelters staying open and your agency offering support?
We are going to offer support for as long as we're needed. So as long as our partners say that there is need in the community, our volunteers are ready and they're willing. We have amazing volunteers and they're going to be there for as long as they need us.
You guys are great. I know blood supplies have been short for months. I get your emails on that. This storm will likely make things worse because people aren't out and about. What's the Red Cross doing to make it easy for people to donate this time of year?
Yeah, so actually within the first 10 days of this year, we have seen more than 300 blood drives canceled because of the severe winter weather, and that's led to 8,000 donations going uncollected. So we are asking anyone that if it's safe where you are, if you're able to do it, go ahead and sign up to give blood. It's very easy to do. You can go to redcrossblood.org to make an appointment or download our Red Cross donor app.
And I want to mention, I think some people think the Red Cross somehow gets funding from the government and that's how they help people. I know that's not the case. You operate on private donations. So tell people how they can help you help others.
Yeah, one of the best ways that you can help us make sure that we are helping our community every day is by donating, which you can do at redcross.org. We are also always looking for volunteers, so you can sign up to do your part if this is something that interests you, but we are 100% donor funded.
That's awesome. Thank you for taking a few minutes to talk with us. Paige Katrinchak, Regional Communications Manager for the Red Cross here in Tennessee. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you.
Well, continuing coverage, the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency working closely alongside local and state partners tonight as a level 3 state of emergency remains in effect across the volunteer state. TEMA urging drivers to steer clear of TDOT snow plows as they continue through the night.
They're focusing on their priority 1 routes. They're going to shift to their priority 2 routes as the storm allows per their normal winter weather procedures. I ask too that you give them lots of room as if you're out and about driving today. We've already had 1 accident at least with a salt truck being struck from behind by a commercial motor vehicle. So please travel safely if you have to be out and about and give lots of room to our dedicated TDOT employees who are out there making our roadways open and safe.
TDOT says a tractor trailer hit the back of one of its salt trucks earlier today. Nobody was hurt, thankfully, but TDOT says that plow is now out of commission.
Coming up, we'll talk more about the cold air that is not going anywhere anytime soon. That in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
And coming up, I'll have the latest weather and road conditions here in Murfreesboro, along with multiple crashes that have been reported here.
And helping us tell the weather story, more viewer pictures and video on the way. Continuing coverage of the winter blast tonight as the Rutherford County Emergency Management Agency tells us they have seen dozens of crashes today. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live in Murfreesboro to show us the latest conditions. What's it like?
Well, in the last 15 minutes, the snow has really started to pick up. It's not too cold, but I just want to go back to what you were saying about the crashes. We saw a crash not too long ago on the interstate that was really, really bad. And, you know, some of the things that you have to worry about in these conditions is black ice, which is hard to see, and refreeze. But what's refreeze? Let me explain that to you. So let's take a look at the snow right here. It's light and fluffy, but however, when the temperatures rise and then they end up dropping below freezing, that's when they are frozen again, which is why it's called a refreeze. And Rutherford County officials are warning people to stay off the road so that they don't go over some of that frozen ice, which could cause accidents. And at this point, Rutherford County EMA officials tell me at least 19 people have been hurt in today's crashes, and there have been at least 24 wrecks, so we are expecting probably a lot more. Now, I want you to take a walk with me to what we're looking at here. The snow, it's not too much at this point. Earlier when I measured it, it was about 4 inches. In this part of the area, it seems like they've done a good job of cleaning things up. Take a look at this road. It's been thoroughly treated, and the cars that are passing through here, Patrick, if you want to show this car, they're driving pretty smoothly and slowly as they should be, but what we also have seen, especially on some of these main roads like New Salem Highway, are that people are driving at average speeds or even speeding, which is what Rutherford County EMA officials are telling me is also contributing to some of these crashes. Now, I was also able to speak to a snow plow truck driver who was right at this gas station. You can't really see it, but who was just telling me about how the conditions are. And look, just talking about speeding, look how fast this car is going. That is exactly what you shouldn't be doing to prevent an accident. And okay, so we're talking about the plow truck driver, and he tells us exactly why we need to take this weather seriously. Listen.
You know, people just need to stay off the roads. It's very icy. The temperature's starting to drop now. You know, give the guys time to get their jobs done. You know, we're out here all night working all day.
As he mentioned, they have been out working around the clock, salting these streets, plowing the snow. However, they can't get to everything on time, so it's very important that you stay home. I know it's Friday night, but please stay home. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you. And checking back in with our newsroom, we have brand new pictures and video submitted to the Chime In section of our website. Plenty of people making the most of this snow day. Right here in Nashville, cousins Joshua, Judah, and Towns building a snowman that really, look at that, towers over them, all of them. It's complete with the top hat, the carrot nose, the scarf, and look, they even worked the mittens in. This trio looking pretty proud of themselves here. The snowman stands tall off Harding Place near I-65. And look at the creativity here. I mean, the detail. This is Frozetta of Franklin, brought to life by Reed Collum, also of Franklin. And the world is your tripod with this winter art. It's fire and ice coming together in this one. Sean Trent sending us this ice sculpture. It's a bonfire made entirely out of snow, painted and all. And an unlikely pair showing that they're best buds in this picture. Shannon O sending us this picture saying Tayaki and Okashi are enjoying their first real snow. By Tayaki's stance, it almost looks like he's taking credit for building this snowman masterpiece, right? Just look at him there. Keep sharing your pictures and video with us. You can scan the QR code on your screen. It will take you directly to our newsroom in the Chime In section.
Things are finally beginning to calm down, at least, but it is turning colder, Katie.
It is turning colder, and we still have a little bit of snow left on the radar. It's past Nashville, but moving through Lebanon, and even Karen just a moment ago mentioning that it was starting to pick up a little bit there, so a little bit moving through Murfreesboro as well. This is the last little bit that we'll see through the evening hours. And again, we will be looking at those icy spots as we head through the overnight tonight, as this shifts more now into an impact for tomorrow morning with the cold weather with us. Temperatures will be in the mid-20s for the overnight. Live look from our Cookeville camera, and you can see definitely some snowy roads here in downtown Cookeville. Remember, of course, as Megan said, to share your pictures from today, what you've been doing out and about, enjoying the snow. Our Chime In page, by the way, if you go to our website, you click on or hover your mouse, or if you're using your phone, click over the Fox 17 button or logo, and down here on the menu it says Chime In, and that's where you can go to submit your pictures, and we can share them on the air. Morning forecast for tomorrow: temperatures will be cold in the upper 20s. We're looking at cloudy skies. I don't expect a lot of sunshine for tomorrow, and that is going to limit the melting potential for the day. We'll get a little bit, but of course, as we head through Saturday night, we're going to do it all over again with these cold temperatures sticking around. So overnight, we're right around 26, up to about 33 for the afternoon. Sunday down to 17 degrees and up to 40. So Sunday afternoon, a great day for melting. Back down to 23 in the evening hours, and then up to 37 on Monday. But a second blast of cold air expected to arrive as we head towards Tuesday. Morning low around 18 and topping off around 34 for the afternoon. So the cold air does not want to let go of its grip. We are going to see it for a while. As we take you through Saturday, we will look at a dry sky, a cloudy sky, but at least dry. We do have another front coming through, and will approach us on Sunday, but not pushing it until Monday morning. Potential for a little light winter mix, if not some snow showers, especially east toward the plateau. Should be very quick hitting, though, as we head through Monday morning, and then we dry out going into Tuesday. Relatively dry week. It's looking like next week, at least that's the way it is shaping up for us right now. But I mentioned the cold. That is going to be something that is with us for quite a while here. In fact, we're going to take a look at the 8 to 14 day outlook and all of the country in blue here. So this would signal well below average conditions possible. This is looking at the 18th through the 24th. Now keep in mind, our average high for this time of year is around 48, 49 degrees. And we're looking at temperatures for tomorrow right around the freezing mark. So we have been pretty cold for January standards here, and it looks like that trend will continue. Cold not wanting to let go of its grip even here in Tennessee. And then above average conditions as far as precipitation goes. Then the question then becomes, are there any more snow chances? I can't shut the door on it. This January has been very active, and does look like the signals show that we will continue to be active. Not a slam dunk, as we know. It's never a guarantee, but at least the cold air is there, and that is usually one thing that we're lacking. So something we will keep our eye on as we head into the next couple of weeks. I don't see anything real significant anytime soon, but again, we will be watching closely. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We're up to 40. Monday around 37, 34 Tuesday, and down to 32 on Wednesday, with an overnight low early Wednesday morning around 14.
Katie, thank you. It's been a busy day, but we want our viewers to know we have you covered during the entirety of this winter storm. We want to invite you to tune in for a special edition of Fox 17 News this morning, tomorrow, starting at 6 a.m. right here on Fox 17.
Keeping the power on, how TVA is handling high demand during the snowy cold weather.
And a proactive approach, what the mayor's office did ahead of this winter blast to help drivers across Music City.
This Fox 17 News Code Red Alert is sponsored by Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac.
Continuing coverage tonight as the Tennessee Valley authorities keeping a close eye on the power grid during this winter blast. Now this after rolling blackouts during some previous winter cold snaps.
Well, TVA telling Fox 17 News that things are operating smoothly at this hour. They saw a preliminary peak demand last night of 31,000 megawatts, but the utility says it met the demand with no issues.
Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell monitoring the city's response to this winter weather from the Office of Emergency Management. NDOT has more plows on city streets, covering more routes than ever before, according to the mayor.
Victims and first responders in Southern California asking for help. Our parent company, Sinclair Inc., partnering with the Salvation Army for Sinclair Cares California Wildfire Relief.
Crews are delivering essential meals, fresh water, and supplies in those hard-hit areas in L.A. Just scan the QR code there at the bottom right-hand side of your screen, or you can go to sinclaircares.com to make a donation.
On alert for a refreeze. Fox 17 News monitoring our TDOT SmartWay cameras for any trouble spots as the temperatures continue to drop. As we head to break, here's a live look on the west side of town on I-40 at 46th Avenue. Not too many cars out on the road tonight, and so far, so good, no problems.
The Mid-State continues to dig out from that winter storm. We're going to have the snow totals plus the full impact of whether or not your school is going to be open on Monday morning. We'll see you starting at 4 a.m. on Fox 17 News this morning.
Well, days of advance notice helping road crews really get ahead of this winter storm.
You know, they were able to start treating the roads as early as Wednesday, and it's paid off. Now, this happening is the topic of our poll tonight. Do you think the roads near you are better prepared for this winter weather blast compared to some others? We've got 364 people weighing in. More than 70% say yes, this time's better. Going to have another update on these numbers for you tonight on Fox 17 News at 10, so you still have time to vote if you want to.
South getting slammed by a major winter storm with snow and freezing rain. I'm Steve Harrigan in Alpharetta, Georgia. That story ahead.